Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Silo by Story Archives. I'm your host, Mario Busto, alongside
the other host, Zachary Newton. Mario's grit in his mouth there was because he didn't intro me the first time we ran through that.
Yeah, my bad.
So thank you.
My bad. You know, it's been a minute since we've done the Silo coverage, so naturally things can be a little rusty as we queue up here for our first official deep dive of season 2.
Rusty, just like the railing that Juliette tied some rope onto.
Yeah, honestly, there's a whole lot we can talk about because about half the episode was her trying to traverse that gap.
I think it was a little more than half, it felt like.
Yeah, I mean, it might have been a little more than half. I was rewatching the episode earlier today, and I was kind of just scrolling through it, and yeah, sure enough, she's pretty much playing arts and crafts, or not really arts and crafts. She's like playing engineer for about half of the episode. So, yeah, there's that. She made about 3 different crafts, but if on the rewatch, I only caught this, not on the first watch. Did you know the last one she does, the last bridge that she puts across, is the exact same one as they used in the Rebellion?
Is it? I did not catch that. That's a good catch.
Yeah, you know, that's the stuff that you tune in for, right? On the deep dives.
100%. Some lessons on bridge building for sure.
Yeah. We got some emails too, and we got some comments on YouTube. So remember, we got to do that before the end of the show. We'll go through the comments on YouTube and we'll go through an email we got. So, and for all of you who are rusty out there, make sure you email us all of your silo theories. contact@soapbox.house is the move, or you can comment them and it'll pretty much work the same exact way. So, anyways, we got a little bit of context of what's been going down in another silo across the town. But it seems like rebellions didn't just happen in Juliette's silo. But unfortunately for this silo, this rebellion seems to have been successful because everybody died. And I don't know how much of a success that is. And I don't know if that's
successful.
I don't know if that's going to be some sort of dystopian end for the entire series, is some thematic conclusion where we realize Bernard was the good guy the whole time, protecting the people against their own own worst impulses. I don't know. But we get this clip of, we really start the episode with this kid, Timmy. I'm just calling him Timmy the Torch Taker. He's probably has a Twitch channel out there somewhere under that moniker. And he's taking a torch to his father, who I never caught this guy's name, but it's probably on IMDb somewhere if you want to look it up. But I don't know how important he is because he's a skeleton about 2 minutes later. So this guy is leading the rebellion. And I think the most key thing here about this scene is this little scene he has with his wife where he's in front of the mirror and he says, "My hand slipped." There's a couple of comments that I wrote down. He put, "My hand slipped." And then he put, "Do you think Russell was lying? Why wouldn't he open the door?" So I think his hand slipped was BS, and he killed this guy for not opening the same door that Juliette is trying to open at the end of this episode. And my guess is Russell gave him the grave news that outside actually is poisoned. And so he's in between a rock and a hard place because it's poisoned outside and the generator is flooding in 15 minutes. Yeah. So, there was pretty much no choice. And maybe that's the reason they all march out there like idiots together and die.
Well, I mean, what was the line in here? Well, we're dead either way. And if it is poisonous outside because the generator is going to flood. It was interesting. I do definitely think that his hand slipping was a lie, but I feel like the door that we're talking about is the same door that we see at the end of the episode.
Yeah.
With Juliette and the ominous figure hiding, looking through the peephole there.
On rewatch, I don't know how ominous or not that guy is because he says, "Oh, you heard the music. Good. Which means he was trying to bring her to the door. So he needs something from her. It doesn't make sense, but if this guy's been locked in this room for decades, how good is he at conversing with other humans?
Yeah, but still, I need something and I'm going to kill you are very different. You know what I mean? Like, I could understand him maybe being scared. I mean, you are inviting an unknown thing over to you. You don't know what to expect, but I mean,
yeah,
not the best foot to start off on.
I was, it didn't really stand out to me too much on rewatch, but I didn't really understand why Juliette looked the way she did in this scene. Like at the very end when she's talking to the guy in there, she has this very odd look on her face. Even when he opens the thing, like she's scared at first, and then she's kind of puzzled, and then she's kind of intrigued, but she's not looking at him like... There's kind of like this weird tone in this episode where I feel like there's no food in this silo for her to eat, if I had to guess. Unless there's a bunch of canned goods everywhere. Maybe there is.
I mean, I feel like that was water that she took out of like those canisters from the cafeteria, but that looked nasty.
Yeah, but I just kind of didn't really get her vibe in that scene. Other than it's kind of refreshing to have a character who's not just full on badass. Like she is badass, don't get me wrong, but she's very human, and so she is alarmed and scared when somebody threatens to kill her. To her face, which she's never met before. But yeah, those are my initial opening comments here.
You know, she also doesn't really have anywhere else to go, though, in my opinion. I mean, what is she going to do? Go back up and out? I mean, maybe she'll, I don't know, make a makeshift dive tank or something and go under the water and find a way out through there. But yeah, I mean, I feel like we're going to just get her in the next episode kind of trying to get into this room. I just kind of hope it's not like a really boring, like, let me just sit and talk to you for half an episode while you're on the other side of this door. I'm not really looking forward to that.
If I had to guess, we're going to get a little bit of them next episode, not a ton. I think a lot of it will revolve around the original Silo, which blanking on the numbers. Is it Silo 18?
18 is what 18. I recall.
Yeah. So I think we'll get a lot more of Silo 18 rather than... continued in this, new Silo interaction that we're going to have.
Agreed. There's only so much one person in an episode that you can take, and I think this was about all of it. Yeah.
Well, I guess we could be proven wrong, right? Unless something goes down, but I guess it's all about how much is possible within that room, like what's in that room and, what could go down. I don't know. I feel like who knows? Maybe there's a way to connect to the other Silo in that room. Why would he be protecting that room so much, right?
I don't know. I mean, I don't... The thing is, we still don't know when this happened. I'm assuming it's a long time ago, so I don't think that that's Russell. I'm sure whoever Russell was is dead.
Yeah.
Or whoever was not opening the door, who was behind the door is probably dead.
You think this is like a second generation of hermit people? I mean,
yeah, maybe.
They said the rebellion is 140 years ago.
Well, the rebellion in Silo 18, we're assuming that the rebellions took place at the same time, which I think would be interesting if there was like this whole joint rebellion and on all of the silos, and then they locked everything down. But I just don't know if that's actually the case. Like I kind of feel like they were always isolated to some extent, and like these passages seem like hidden secrets.
Yeah, I'm also not entirely sure that those skeletons wouldn't have like completely. Like that they wouldn't be under the dirt by now 140 years later,
Yeah, the bodies are decayed. But with all of that wind, even that flag just sitting in its upright position, like 140 years?
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Maybe he dug it to the ground really, really well before he died on top of it, but it's kind of hard to believe. Like, I feel like this was a bit more recent than we may think.
Yeah. Well, whatever that guy is doing in there, I feel like he's got to be protecting something. But at the same time, he definitely leaves the room because there's that fan, unless that fan's been on for years, with the little ID on there.
Mm-hmm.
Unless that's what happened there, then I'm not entirely sure like what this guy's deal is. Upon second watch, I know there was some speculation as to whether he cut the rope that she's swinging on.
Mm-hmm.
But
I just think she tied it horribly.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't find any sort of instance, not even a camera type of insinuation that somebody cut the rope.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think that this guy is Batman. I don't think he could just kind of zoom around and teleport.
he threw a batarang.
Yeah, maybe that. You're a techie guy. Did you see the lead up to that door? There's like servers and like machines like and wires everywhere.
She was walking into IT, I think.
That's what it felt like, right?
Yeah, it really felt like IT. I mean, judging on how we know Silo 18 is kind of constructed, it would make sense that that's probably the last thing to be opened, like the most safeguarded space.
Yeah.
Just my opinion.
Well, it's a whole floor, right? Because you see when she's walking there, there's a bunch of other doors and stuff. So I don't know. This guy's got to be related to Russell in some way. And who knows, Zach? Maybe we're wrong. Maybe this particular rebellion happened in a much shorter time frame, and maybe this guy is Russell. But my guess is, that they killed Russell, and the guy behind the door is like Russell's son or Russell's protege, like similar to Sims in Silo 18. I feel like that's kind of this guy.
Do you think he's got a family back there, or is he's just living solo? He's living the bachelor life.
I kind of hope he has a family back there, but it seems like he's solo.
Yeah, he does kind of seem like a loner.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
man, that's such an odd one though, because I mean, if he's the only person there, and if this did happen, not even 140 years ago, man, like 40 years ago, and if he's the only person there, how can he even talk? You know, like
Yeah.
who would have taught him to speak? Is there 40 years worth of food back there? I don't know.
Maybe, I don't know. I'm assuming all these questions will be answered in terms of, what this guy's whole story is, right?
Yeah.
But I remember we talked about how she was getting into the silo in the first place and that she was running out of oxygen. It was not the oxygen issue. It was the fact that the heat tape loosened against her wrist. And so the toxins from outside got into the suit. So what she was gasping for air was because she was actually being poisoned within the suit. They emphasize far too much the tape on her arm. They
do, and then I also I'm trying to find where it was in the episode. It was after she took off her suit, trying to kind of like wash off. I think there was like a close up on her arm. And am I wrong in remembering that it looked like she was burned?
I don't recall her being burned, but she does bandage up a little bit after when she takes a tumble. But I don't remember exactly whether she was burned or not. You would have to kind of look that up.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to try and find that, because I wonder, like, what if it's not just like poison outside? Like, what if there's something in the air that kind of like, I don't know, what would that be, like radiation? Kind of just deteriorating your body very quickly.
I don't know. I would love a better explanation as to what the hell, like how potent is the toxin outside, and is it from a nuclear bomb, or what is it from exactly?
Yeah.
But I don't know if we're ever gonna get that answer, to be honest with you.
We'll probably have to wait till like a season 3 to find that one out. Like the origin story of what happened.
Yeah.
Doesn't feel like a thing that we'd get right away.
Yeah, no, I don't think so either. But, we shall see eventually. Okay, so she breaks into the silo, rips her mask off just in time, and then she kind of does her own version of like a decontamination with the what is that? Like iodine? What does she like put all over herself? That brown liquid.
I thought she would like literally was just trying to grab water canisters from the cafeteria to like wash it off. Maybe it was wine.
Wine?
I don't know. I'm just throwing ideas out, man. It looked dirty, it looked rusty, it looked red.
Her whole judgment to me in this episode is crazy. I just don't understand in what scenario you're gonna go into the first silo that has hundreds, if not thousands, of skeletons on the floor. That part to me was just baffling. And there's a couple other instances as well. When she is placing the rope to go down to the room. That was very questionable as to why she decided to place the rope where she placed it.
Yeah.
But
slide it over a little more or something. I agree with your sentiment there. It was kind of frustrating.
Yeah. No. I couldn't.
I I think
understand
it
that
would have
one.
been really funny though to see her like explore a little more, walk up
Mhm.
to another silo that doesn't have thousands of bodies on the outside, and just knock on the window. Hey, see everybody lose their freaking minds inside.
Maybe she's thinking this silo's great because everybody's dead, so I won't have to contend with anybody to find out the mysteries of what's going on in the silo.
Yeah, but don't you want to know why the silo's dead?
Exact. That
Before
would be
you
my
go
first
and
thing.
lock yourself in?
That would be my first thing of like, all right, I might come back to this one, but let me go look over the hill and see if there's maybe one that doesn't have thousands of corpses. And maybe there's one that has like normal people who are not trying to hide information from people.
Yeah.
I don't know. Just a thought. Juliette, like what kind of opportunity are you going to get like this where you can just wander this place with this suit that's protecting you?
Clearly not again.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
definitely not
I
again.
don't know that we're ever going to go outside again.
Why not? Now we know the heat tape works. Everybody can go outside, which is so dumb in the first place to me. Like, what on earth, even if it is completely poisonous outside, what is the logic to not have these people be some sort of astronauts where you seal up their suit really well and explore and see if there's a possibility to get outside the silos again?
You may as well do that because, I mean, if you're sending people out to clean, which honestly just seems stupid. I mean, I kind of get it as a punishment, but it seems stupid because you're never going to get those suits back. And those suits are probably your only hope of doing anything, finding anything.
Yeah.
I also wonder, like, I mean, I feel like it's like Mars outside, right? Like at some point, I mean, I know these silos are massive and you've got like factories in there and floors that just, I don't know, grow chickens or something.
Mm-hmm.
But don't you think at some point you're going to run out of supplies? Like you might need to go outside and actually mine. And okay, yeah, there's supposedly a mine somewhere. What, didn't Lucas get sent down to the mines?
Yeah. We haven't seen the
I
mines
haven't
yet.
seen those yet, so I don't know where those are.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing what side of the silo that is in and what are they, like, what is the situation down there? That's what I want to know.
That'll be interesting.
Yeah.
Maybe somehow, I don't know, maybe somehow Juliette finds a mine or like an entrance to a mine and that's how she makes it back versus just this
I think what
crater
we're
at the
gonna
bottom.
I think what we're getting to here is gonna be that Juliette essentially is going to reconnect with the silo from this silo.
Mm-hmm.
If I had to guess. That's what I think would occur here. But you know, I could be completely wrong as to how this goes down, but I'm assuming that's the angle here because she can't go back outside, and I'm guessing they don't have the type of supplies in this place that essentially would allow them to go and explore outside the way she had the freedom to do so.
You mean another suit?
Yeah, I don't think that they have that, but maybe who knows? Maybe they do. That keypad is functioning on the door, so
there's that's actually an interesting point though. Like there's clearly power coming from somewhere, not the main generator. So what is it? Is it some tiny little dinky generator that's been running for a decade or more with some gasoline, or is it, and probably no ventilation, or is there power being routed from another silo? Maybe this guy's like grabbed a power, like an extension cord, and just ran it from another silo into his little room.
I have no idea what that guy's going on in there, but I think once she gets in there and kind of ingratiates herself, I mean, also the dude is like, if he's alone and this girl walks in and she's kind of pretty, you know, like she's pretty. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Okay. Like, bro, I'd be playing Audrey Hepburn freaking Moon River too to like, please, like I've been in this damn little confinement for the last 40 years. Yeah, but I don't think Juliette's on a mission to find love.
No, I don't think so. Not after the first season. Definitely not.
Yeah. Okay, moving on. It's kind of hard to like move on to anything here because all she does is get across the gap in this episode and get threatened.
I know. I think that's the majority of the episode. Like if you really wanted to sum this up in a few lines, it's Juliette stumbles onto another silo. She finds her way down. But it takes 2 attempts to get across this broken bridge and then gets threatened at the end.
Yeah.
There's not too much else that was really discovered. Like yeah, we get some flashbacks of her engineering, which you didn't mention at the beginning of the episode. The episode's title is The Engineer, if you didn't already know that. But I mean, like, yeah, I liked the flashbacks mainly because at least the flashbacks kind of had other people. To me, this episode, though I enjoyed it, I didn't dislike it. It's not a rewatchable episode to me, and I definitely don't think it's going to be one of the top episodes in the season. I am very excited for episode 2 though, because I mean, I want to see people's reaction. I've been craving to see people's reactions to her leaving the View from Silo 18 since the end of last season.
I think that might be one of the most fascinating things. Now, it's a question of, is she going to be able to make contact across? Because the thing that she didn't do that everybody did is she did not clean the lens, the sensor. And that is got to be something that's going to make these people wonder. Now, I don't know if you can refresh my memory here. What was the significance again of cleaning the sensor?
Just in general?
Wasn't it that the outside...
You would clean the sensor so that people could see the outside for what it truly was, which was a barren wasteland of danger. But the way that they got everybody to clean all the time was the helmet. If you remember from season 1, the helmet that you wear, the visor projects internally a false picture. It's of the Carmody cleaning, I believe.
The Carmody, Jane Carmody.
Yeah, and I mean, so everybody thinks like, oh my God, it's so nice out here. It's safe. It's great. It's green. It's bright. It's clean. There's life.
I'm going to clean the sensor so people can see clearly.
Exactly, so that they can see the reality out here. It's not what you think inside. So it's like this lie to both people. It's crazy.
Okay, so I was on the right path then. Okay, and it's confirmed that it's kind of dumb. Like, think about it. Let me clean this sensor so you can see that it actually is completely perfect out here. Like, no, something has to be lying, you know? Anyways, somebody's going to say something about that. But
I can confirm that they are dead.
I can confirm that they are indeed dead.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you see my point though. Like, she doesn't clean it. In other words, like, yeah, it's a wasteland out here. It's a wasteland out here. Like, what you see is what you get, so to speak. But I don't know. It's a little tricky for me as to why. No, like, I feel like by not cleaning it, people are going to go outside. That's what.
You mean
from
Juliette not cleaning it?
Yeah, that'll be the natural thing. Is people will want to go outside after that, right?
I think
so does she want people to die? She already knew that it was not safe out there at that point.
Well, she didn't want to go out, that's for sure. And there was still a lot of unknowns for us as an audience. There was a lot of theories. I think it was even one of your theories from season 1 where before they went outside, they were in that room where they kind of get sprayed where, I mean, I don't know, like a decontamination zone or something. But yeah, the theory was like, hey, well, maybe that was poisoning them. So maybe outside, even though it was a barren wasteland, maybe outside was still safe. So I do think there was a lot of unknowns. I think now that she really knows the reality, I would be thinking that everybody is going to, start rioting back in Silo 18 if I were Juliette. I'd be like, I need to get back and tell them, like, no, please don't go outside. Because I feel like the what everybody was assuming was like, no, it is safe outside. It is safe outside. And that's why I want to go outside. And, I'm living that delusion because my mask is also telling me that it's safe when I am outside, but then you die. So I think at some point, I mean, yeah, she's 100%, she's going to have to get back into the silo and stop everybody. I feel like we're kind of going to come back to Silo 18 in the next episode with the I guess early like marks of a new rebellion.
Yeah, I feel like we're definitely heading towards a rebellion. Now, I feel like this will be the most nuanced rebellion possible because nobody needs to die. All we need to do is stop this whole overseer situation and have people go explore and find actual answers as to what's going on and when the hell can we get out of these silos, you know? My guess is that there's no civilization up top, like at all. Like the whole Earth is wiped.
I don't know, man. Like, because remember out in the distance, not to, I didn't mean to cut you off, but out in the very distance at the end of this season, we did see what looked like kind of like watchtowers out there. So there might be something.
It's a possibility. There's like only silos and towers. That's it.
Yeah. Just towers.
People living below ground and people living above ground. Those are the super rich.
Yeah.
To my point about like that the order has to be done with is one of the first things she does is she does break a mirror inside of this new silo. Mm-hmm. And we see that there's cameras behind there as well, which might have been, I think I mentioned this in the instant reaction, which you can catch on Thursdays, by the way, for you out there. And I think we're going to continue live streaming it. Maybe not this week, so. But I think we're going to continue live streaming it. Actually, no, not this. It was Thanksgiving week.
Yeah, so this coming week will be good, but the following week probably won't be live streamed.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't think anybody's tuning in on that day either. So
no, we're gonna take a jolly holiday there with some
turkey and some corn casserole and some mashed potatoes and the works.
You're gonna have to send me a recipe for that corn casserole.
Corn casserole. My mom makes it. It is fire. It is. It's not even like a casserole. Like it's like a really. Man, it's like a fantastic cornbread, but it's not really a cornbread. It's very unique dish. It's definitely the family favorite.
All right.
Anyways, a lot of this episode is a flashback to her early mechanical days, and one of the things I thought when she was in this new silo is just how weird it must be to see a mirror image of the place that she thought was maybe the only one in front of her eyes. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's identical template to her silo, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then we see her upbringing. Mainly, I think the point of it in this episode was that she's in a really tough position here. And like the kind of core bit of it is, what choice do you have? Die? As Shirley says about when Knox left her down in that I think that's kind of like the mining drill area that George shows her, which I know for a fact it is. I'm just saying I don't know what the official name of that area is, but it seems to be where they drilled a hole for the silo. And that's kind of it for Juliette here, is that she's in a tough spot and she needs to know that she is capable of getting out of this spot. Albeit very fortunate that somebody happens to live in this silo. So that she could find it. But I think either way she would have been fine, because this silo's definitely got to be connected to silo 18. There has to be some way to get from one silo to the other underground. There just has to be.
I think and I thought this during season 1 too, but I think that there's really like this, what would it be? Almost like just a series of tunnels connecting every single silo together. Like I feel like this was intended to be some really, really massive underground, like almost like a beehive. Like I feel like that's kind of what this was. And because certain silos started rebelling, and I'm making an assumption there could have been all silos, could have been some silos. I feel like they shut all of those down, because we did see in silo 18 as well, down in the down deep, there are places that are like boarded up, they're blocked off, that you're not supposed to go to anymore. You can't really get to anymore. Like they're sealed off.
Yeah.
So there's got to be connections. There's probably connections to every neighboring silo from the one that she's in right now too.
Yeah, I would have to agree. I think something that's going to come into play in this series, I don't know how, will be the fact that she used to think that water was something that just drug you down and that you could not actually swim on, right? And she found out that things float on water and that you can actually swim in water.
Yeah.
So I do wonder how that's going to come into effect. Is maybe she gives the entire silo swimming lessons. Who knows?
Maybe, but what's the point? Hey guys, I found a really cool silo next door. You want to join me?
It might come into play because you got the guy in the beginning of the episode who gets the message that the generator's flooding, and half of this silo is underwater. So if they grew up with that same lie, that that this thing just drags you down and you can't, traverse it, Maybe those people, that's another reason why they left in such a hurry, thinking that they had no way of dealing with that.
Death from the bottom and death from above. Yeah, I mean, it is a possibility, but even if you knew you could swim and you were in this enclosed tube, I mean, you don't know how bad that's going to flood. I don't know how many floors that came up to begin with. Did it go up 1 floor? Did it go up 50 or more? I don't know.
No idea.
It could have been a never-ending thing. Since we're on the topic of water, the thing that, when I think about it, probably freaks me out more than anything else on this planet is the thought of swimming in one of those, I'll call them pools, of water down there, and where the drill was, even in less so in the silo, but more so in the drill. Like, not knowing what's underneath me, being in pitch black, just in terms of the air, let alone the dark water underground, bro. At that, I can't even fully think through what that would be like. Just swimming in that water, man, that would creep me the hell out.
Yeah, I thought you were going somewhere else with that.
No.
I thought you were going to some other nightmare scenario. Yeah, that would creep me out too.
I mean, who knows what's gonna get you? Go ahead.
I mean, have you ever been in that scenario where you're just in a random house pool at night, and there's just what's the word I'm looking for? There's kind of an irrational fear, maybe there happens to be a shark in this water somehow.
Yeah, you never know. Or I mean, I grew up in South Florida, guys. There could have been an alligator there.
Yeah, that's true. That is actually true.
Yeah. That's happened a few times.
Alligator in your pool?
Not in my pool, but people I know, yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Most that happened to me was just frogs. What do you think the significance of the fan the ID on the fan? What was up with that? Is that an alarm system? Or is that just him having fun?
It's I don't know. I don't know if there really is any significance of it. Maybe I can't. I mean, it didn't seem like it was a trap. It did kind of seem like a distraction when I was watching it, more like an alarm, like you were saying. But I don't know. I feel like it may have just been one of those noises to try and creep us out through this horror of an episode.
Or maybe it was that he saw her come into the silo and then he ran outside, put the ID there, turned on the fan to get her attention. And then when she turned off the fan and got the ID, he's like, damn it, I gotta put the music on now. So he put the music on. And he put his favorite song on, or a song he loved. So he definitely, I don't think he's an enemy. We'll just have to find out.
No, I don't think so either. I think Juliette is gonna have to befriend whoever this guy is behind the door.
Yeah, agreed. Okay, so that takes us to the end where she hears the song and he threatens to kill her. And by the way, his name is Parsons, so we'll learn more about him.
Parsons, all right.
I guess my guess would be this guy is some sort of engineer as well.
I mean, it could be. I mean, I know so much of the episode is just fixed on Juliette and her background as an engineer, but I could see that.
Could you make out where that guy, where the kid was running to in the beginning? What area of the silo was that? Was that the staircase? Where was that?
I'm not.
Can you rewind it all the way to the beginning? Because it's a really strange part of the silo where all these people are just lurking.
I thought it was literally in the down deep near the engineering room. Where Walker lives?
Yeah.
Down there is kind of where I thought it was.
Well, the powers are off, right? So who knows how long the power's been off in this silo?
Truth now.
Yeah, this looks like the down deep, maybe. Yeah. Or maybe it's the mids. Maybe it is the mids and they're hiding in one of the side areas. So
it's hard to tell, man. So much of the silo looks the same. I mean, it's concrete floors, walls, and ceiling everywhere.
Yeah, true. Very brutalist.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, I think that about does it. There's nothing else I could possibly say about this episode, and it was a great episode. It's just Juliette getting across a gap. There's not much to deep dive into other than the water beneath her,
which she does.
Yeah.
I think we've covered it all. Though, if anybody thinks we've missed something or you caught something, we didn't see, let us know. I am curious if there's any other interesting elements, tidbits to be pulled from this episode. But to round this out, you want to go through a few categories?
Before we get into categories, let's go through some messages and emails. If you can pull up the comments on YouTube, and I'm gonna read an email from Mr. Linder. All right, thoughts. She had to bust out of that suit because she was suffocating inside of it. The air supply simply ran out. Okay, I disagree with you, Linder. I think it had to do with the toxins in the suit. But you might be in the oxygen club with Zach. They all ran out of the silo because they believed they could be safe. The word lies was painted on the large community monitor. The rebellion leader leading the charge out of the silo acknowledged it might not be safe by saying we're all dead anyways while talking with his wife since the generator was being flooded. Okay, we're on the same page there. I like the point you brought up about the rebel leader asking why wouldn't he open the door. That has to be a tie-in with the door at the end of the episode. Yeah, agreed. Yeah, we're on the same page with all of that. I wonder if they wrote lies. I'm assuming they wrote lies on that screen before they walked outside, because everyone's dead inside. So turns out it was not a lie. Zach?
No, it wasn't. I'm going to run through some of these YouTube comments now.
Yeah.
Well, we got a few nice ones coming in here. Quite a few, actually. From Ryan. Love the silo coverage. So glad it's finally back. I'm glad it's back as well. One person made an interesting point, Reindeer J. Though I thought it was a good episode, first episode, the only thing that annoyed me was her helmet. The lights inside that lit up her face would have made it impossible for her to see, especially in the dark.
That's actually a great point.
It is a very, very solid point.
Yeah, how would that be? We should do like a Mythbusters on that. I'm assuming, like, theoretically, that sounds 100% true. Like, she wouldn't be able to see crap in there if that was the case.
Think back to, I don't know why I always remember this story. I might get some details wrong, but I think it was George Washington crossing the Delaware, and they lit up a fire so that they could make an escape behind the fire in the middle of the night, because when you have such a big light source in front of you, like, you cannot see anything, behind it when it is dark out. So 100%. I don't think we need to do any sort of Mythbuster on that one. I think I agree with Reindeer J there.
Okay.
All right. The next one I have is Within Cells Interlinked. That's the username. I think the guy behind the door probably cut the rope Juliette was initially swinging on.
I would love to see like a flashback of how fast he had to run, like, out of that room, up the stairs or up a ladder, and then I mean, it's a possibility. I'm not gonna say it's impossible that he couldn't have done it. Well, she did swing on there for a while.
She did swing on there for a while. He also goes on to say, I vaguely remember there being stairs on the sides between certain floors in season 1, not to mention the trash chute. So there was probably an unblocked section Juliette was unaware of where the guy could travel through.
He brought up
a valid point.
No. He just brought up a fantastic point. Who was the one escaping, going from floor to floor in her silo?
That was her.
Juliette.
Yeah.
So don't you think it would have been just maybe slightly smart to check the trash chute to see if she could have gone down the ladder instead of having to do all the stuff that she did?
Maybe. Like, I think if she could not get across the bridge, that's what she would have reverted to. But I think when you're just in problem, like, fixing mode there, like, okay, I'm here, I need to get 10 feet across from here, let me build a bridge. I can kind of understand that before going and looking for a bunch of other ways around, though I do think there was a decent lack of exploring overall, exploring outside exploring inside.
Yeah.
She just went freaking like she came into this season after season 1, and she's just like, all right, I'm going to the first thing I see. I'll go straight down.
I would have gone there too. I had a light. I had a light on. So I would have probably gone there too. All right. Any more comments?
We got Elijah. Happy to see this reaction silo is back. Your thoughts are highly appreciated. Your love is highly appreciated too. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Outside of that, I think that covers all of the interesting ones here. Somebody did say, I don't know if that's spoilery. They gave us the silo number. Is that spoilery?
Put us what? Say that again.
Somebody gave us the number of the silo that Juliette is exploring.
You could say it. I don't think that's that big of a...
It's silo 17. I mean, it was so one of two choices. Like I figured it was neighboring, it's 17 or 19. But exactly. Apparently it was silo 17 that she's in. So that's interesting.
Okay, I do like that. Let me see. I'm checking the comment as well. I think it was the trailer episode, maybe. Oh, Zach, somebody asked you how's your vinyl collection going?
Coming along well. I actually, if I move over to this side, those who can see on camera, I have it all set up behind me now. So I just
very nice.
Yeah, I picked up the soundtrack for Halloween for The Nightmare Before Christmas, like a couple of weeks ago, and I also picked up Dead Man's Bones. So
very nice,
two solid albums to add to the collection. Thank you for asking.
Okay. So let us get into categories.
All right, let's do it. Let's start with favorite scene of the episode.
Favorite scene of the episode. Has to be the very end, right? The fact that somebody's in the silo is probably my favorite little tidbit.
It was interesting. Like I was saying earlier, I did appreciate the flashbacks more than her exploration. So I would, I'm gonna go with like the conversation between Walker and Juliette, where they were kind of having like a heart to heart. I liked that.
That was gonna be my runner up, I guess, or maybe actually the top scene was that one when she says, "Down here we don't beat around the bush. We just say what we gotta say."
Yeah,
and her story about catching pneumonia, pretty much like. The whole gist of that was, that the down deep takes care of you type of thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Mechanical.
Absolutely. I like that. Favorite line, not many. so just pick a sentence from the episode. Favorite line of the episode.
If you open that door again, I don't know. There wasn't only one in this episode that was that.
It was for me. It was just what are you gonna do? Die? Like that's the one that stands out to me. And it was the catalyst for her getting across that 100%. Bridge. So
100%.
That was good. Favorite character of the episode. That'd be Juliette for me.
You're right. That Shirley scene was good. I really did enjoy that. She's like, oh, when Juliette's like, I could never do that. She says, yeah, sure you could. What are you going to do? What choice do you have? When presented with a tough option, what are you going to do? You got to step up and just handle it. So,
yeah.
All right. What were you saying?
I was just saying favorite character of the episode and then sarcastically saying it's Juliette for me.
Yeah, I guess you could go Juliette. You could go Walker. You could go Shirley, even Barnes. I mean, there's a handful of people you could pick. But yeah, Juliette for sure.
Yeah. Any other predictions before we get into episode 2 of this season?
I think the other silo is going to be at unrest completely. I'm actually more interested in what's going on in the other silo than what's going on with Juliette. That's kind of where I'm at right now.
Completely agree. I hope this stint of her over in silo 17 is very short-lived. I really do want to kind of see her back in silo 18, even if that means she's underground, running around, hiding, staying off camera.
Well, I think it's confirmed we're going to see a lot of Shirley this season, especially because of the flashback. And also, I hope we get a heavy dose of Billings. That's what I want. And I think Sims the theme for Sims that's going to be for the whole season is whatever's going on with his kid. I'm assuming his kid has that illness or something. And that's going to be his theme, because he famously said to Pete Nichols that nobody's more important than the 10,000 or the thousands to come. Well, it's going to be put your money where your mouth is when your kid is the one who's you got to choose between now.
Yeah. Yeah, you are right though. Paul Billings, I forgot about him for a moment. That'll be a very interesting character to keep an eye out throughout the rest of the season.
For sure.
All right.
That about does it. Yeah.
That does it for episode 1. Deep dive. Appreciate you for listening. Thank you for listening to this episode of Silo by Story Archives. You can find this podcast anywhere you find podcasts, Apple and Spotify podcasts primarily. You can visit us on YouTube at Soapbox Podcast Network, email us at contact@soapbox.house, and you can visit our website at soapbox.house, where you'll find links to this show on different platforms, as well as our social profiles on things like TikTok and Instagram, and anything else that you might need.
Yeah. Also, make sure to subscribe if you're enjoying the pod. Make sure to do so, and make sure to leave us comments on our platform. Always helps in, I think, getting discovered. No.
Oh, definitely helps. Yeah, share it.
For sure.
Let people know. Talk to
also
them. Get them into the show.
The problem is that I didn't plug any of this earlier, but for anybody who stays this long, they'll hear all this.
You are the true heroes.
We have done a ton. Yeah, for real, the true heroes. We've done a ton of shows since Silo season 1. So go back, look at the catalog. We just finished doing Penguin on HBO. Great show. And we've done countless other great shows in the last year. House of the Dragon, we did that. So yeah, stay tuned. We don't just do Silo, people. We do everything. We go above ground with our heat-taped suits, and we watch other shows. So anyways, we'll see you on the instant reaction coming this week. Until then, peace.
Peace.